What's going on, you guys? My name is Marco Phillips. You're listening to Time to Dominate podcast. Let's go. So here's a daunting question. How do millennials like us leverage the internet to recruit 8 players into our downlines, make a massive impact in the world and the income, while having plenty of time for the other things that do actually matter to us? Well, this podcast is going to be answering those questions. My name is Marco Phillips, and you're listening to Time to Dominate podcast. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to episode number 2. I am super excited to be with you guys today. And I wanted to talk about the 4 stages of learning. And this was like something that was made very popular in like the 70s by Noel Birch. And how this actually have been applying to me and what I've been doing and what I've been going through. So I started to share like some of the ideas and concepts of like you guys, like guys on my team. It's like, guys, I want to like get to like flip this whole MLM game upside down. Not allowing people just to come in, people that don't necessarily even fit, people that actually don't even want to do this. They're just doing this just to help out and not feel, not make you feel guilty. But actually really started recruiting like people that actually do want this, people that are hungry. They actually want it and they don't need this. This is such a big deal. Because, people that actually need this opportunity and need this product, they're actually not most of the time, they're not the best fit to be your business builders. Needs don't actually sell too much. What really sells a lot is wants, right? If I really, really want something, people will go out there and get it. If I really, really want something, I'll go out there and make it happen, right? And so it's the same kind of concepts I was explaining to a few of my team members, like a select few, of this whole concept of like, man, listen, I'm creating a funnel. I'm in the process of creating this funnel, and a funnel is just like what a funnel is. If it's like, what is a funnel, Marco? What are you talking about? A funnel is just like a series of pages that are pretty much like coherent. They kind of walks people through from like point A to point B. And so what this is going to be is I'm actually going to get people to apply to join my downline. I'm going to get people to apply to join my downline. And the first reaction I got was like, what? Can you actually even do that? Is that even possible? I was like, yeah, absolutely, totally. Because I've just been doing a lot of searching and a lot of, you guys, like the backstory to that, like I was just frustrated. I was frustrated with where I was at in the marketing plan with my MLM, and honestly, just the way the structure of the work happens. You get people that really, really want. They say they really want to do this, and we get them in. We work my tail off with them, and in like 2 weeks, a month, 6 months max. They just like a total dip, like in production and mindset and everything. I was like, oh man, like just actually taking a step back and looking, it's like, maybe these guys actually did not necessarily even really, really want this. Maybe they needed it. And I just started wondering, like, what happened to their goals and their dreams? And, start playing the whole story. Oh, is it me? Or what did I say wrong? Or what did you do wrong? Or what did I, blah, blah, blah. Just stories. At that point, it's just all the stories. Here's the truth is, everyone's success is on their own shoulder. And if people really, really want it, they'll find a way to make it happen, right? And you're not begging, like you're following up with, with the members of your own team, and like you're getting crickets, or people are not producing. It's just the weird when you talk about business and numbers. It's like, well, we're in a business. Why doesn't anyone want to talk about business? And you get to create a culture of like dependency and people like expecting you to do this and expecting you to do that. Like all those things, they're just like an accident waiting to happen. Like a pretty pissed off person soon to happen, right? And cutting that whole thing of dependency. And it's like, okay, how can I really start getting people that are business minded and really want to make an impact and an income and really help people, but like are super self-sufficient. It's like, you know what? We gotta find a way to vet people out. Gotta find a way to vet people out. And I found a system, and now I'm applying it. And I was explaining to some of my team members that, yeah, now it's, my application process is only going to be open from a certain time to a certain time. I'm only going to recruit top A players. I'm going for the top 100, only 100 people that I'm actually going to get to bring into my business at a certain point at a certain time, and then it closes off. And with those 100 people, we get to work and build a structure and really, massive duplication in their business too, because that's kind of how we honestly get paid, right? They was like, man, that's interesting. People get to apply and get to actually tell people no, that this wouldn't be a good fit. I'm like, yeah. Like the first time I actually heard the whole concept too, I was like, what? Most MLMers only recruit 3 people in their entire lifetime that actually really does the business, right? And people would just be happy just to get like a new distributor under them. And, and now I'm saying, hey, no, not at all. Like, I'm actually going to turn people away. I'm like, listen, if the person was not going to be a good fit, rather than them actually taking this opportunity on and going to build out their business, they're actually going to become a project. Like, I have a daughter, I have this business to build, doing other things. I don't need another project. Like, my plate is full. Like there's already enough going on. And so yes, I'm going to, turn some people away that don't fit, and I'm only going to recruit the A players, people that actually do fits, the people that actually can, use online and, know the basics of, sending an email, know the basics of, how to use like a website, like just to know more basics. Like those are the kind of people that with this model that I want to actually help them recruit and build a business with. It's like interesting. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, totally interesting. So I was going over like just some basics on how it would actually all work out and what I've been studying and implementing for myself for a little bit, and you could see like different reactions, and because I actually went through this, and I was doing some research, and I was like, oh, this actually happens to all of us. This actually happens to just about all of us. So the 4 stages of learning, right? And the first stage is unconscious incompetence. Unconscious incompetence is actually where, like, I don't understand something, I don't know it, or I don't believe it. So you don't know something, and you don't even know that you don't know it, right? And and the one thing I was reading, it was like, oh man, the guy gave an example of musicians, right? He was like, oh man, in music, prima donnas don't work really well in trying to learn a new instrument because they already have a set mind as to how something should be. And so a teacher cannot even come in and tell them like, hey, this is actually not quite right. Maybe you should try it this way, because their mind is already set, right? So this unconscious incompetence reminds me of people that have a closed mindset versus a growth mindset. So you don't know that you don't know, but you act like you know, and like you know everything. So it's like closed. Nothing new can actually even come in. This is actually very, very dangerous. And then yeah, that's it. Anyway, moving on. The second one is conscious incompetent. Conscious incompetent. Now this is where awareness comes in. Okay, this is where awareness comes in. This is, I don't understand or I don't know, but I know that I don't know. Oh man, and like maybe this is the person that's actually working at something, Okay, because this reminded me of when I first got a grasp of this. I'm like, because you guys, I was seeking for like months. I've been seeking for like the beginning of the year on a better way to actually run run this business and um, use online and use tools, use systems to actually create true leverage and find an auto recruiting system to get people into the business and get people going and so I'm like, okay, this is where I was at when I first got started. It was I was unconscious. I didn't know that I didn't know, but I quickly became, once I actually found it, I became what we call conscious incompetent, right? At the beginning, everything seemed, honestly, it felt like, whoa. I'm like, I need to take a deep breath. And like release this and like, okay, I got to take this in bite chunks. I started doing this thing called, what is my one thing for the day to accomplish, right? Because you guys, I'm not a designer. I'm not a coder. I'm not none of that. Like I'm none of that. But however, I found a system that works, and all I have to do is actually just apply myself to it, and put up my own videos, right? The way, put up the things that I actually want to help people with, like the whole success path, and carve that out and shoot a few videos here and there and upload it on YouTube and do this, like some honestly some basic stuff, right? Some basic things. And at that point, I realized like, so that's where I was at. But there's some other things that I needed to learn. I was conscious incompetent. Now, conscious incompetent, this is vital. This is a vital place because awareness is key. And then from there, it goes to conscious competent. Now it's a conscious competent now. And this is where you can do it, but it still requires a lot of effort. It still requires a lot of effort. Now, after I think it's going on a month now of me kind of doing this and really implementing it together, and I'm actually going to be launching this week. I'm going to be actually launching this funnel this week. I actually feel like I toggle between conscious competence. Like I know I can do it, and I believe I can do it. However, it takes a lot of effort because it's not my primary thing. Like this, it doesn't necessarily come easy for me. And I toggle. So whenever I'm learning something new, I will come back to conscious incompetence. And when I've done it over and over again, I become conscious competent. I know I can do it. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to get everything going. Now, ultimately, here is where we want to be. We want to become unconsciously competent. This is where you kind of do things in your sleep, right? It's like, oh yeah, like that's no problem. It's like drinking water. It's, you're unconscious competent. I can do it and it comes easily for me. So this is ultimately where everyone wants to be. So, and I'm sharing this, I'm like, this is where a lot of people that are going to be coming into my downline, as I share this with the team, and these guys are starting to implement this as much as I am, a lot of people will come and we get to start for the people that are totally out the blue, like using online systems, using online systems or using the internet at all for anything, it just seems like bizarre. Like that's just going to be like they have no idea the internet even exists, or you can actually do anything of this nature online. That's unconscious incompetence. That I want to be careful when I say this. I don't know if I'm going to recruit a lot of those kind of people. I think, like, just being honest, I think I'll be recruiting a lot of people that have the conscious incompetence. So they're in stage 2, where I was, and like actually searching, right? Actually searching is like, there gotta be a better way to do this. There gotta be a way to actually leverage myself. There gotta be a way to actually recruit people on autopilot who actually want to be business builders and actually use an online system to actually recruit people, and not necessarily have to be bothering friends and family and using hotel meetings only to actually recruit, or handing out flyers, or any of these other cold market sales, which is actually not even marketing. I think I think my oh man, there's a whole nother. I get so passionate about this. Like the difference between marketing and actually sales or promotion, it's such a big deal. I might just make a whole new episode about that, because that drives me nuts. A lot of the things that we were taught coming in was actually sales and promotion, not actually marketing. Marketing is actually changing people's belief patterns, and then, giving them a solution on how to. Anyway, so most of the people they actually they have to be searching for to find things like this. You actually have to be on a search, on a lookout, or someone actually refers it to you, like, hey, you seem like you might actually like this. So they have to be there. And then I'm fully aware that we all get to then graduate from conscious incompetence. Like, I know, like, I don't understand. Like, I know I don't understand this, but I know, like, this stuff works, and I'm working my way towards it. To conscious incompetence, where they're actually now starting to put all these things into play, and then duplicating an actual system. You actually have a funnel that you can duplicate, because you can show your other team members, like, hey, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. And you put it into play, and like, boom, massive explosion all over the place. And everyone is like, whoa, what the heck is going on with that team? And those guys over there, like, how come you guys, like, But it takes time. It's like Steph Curry, right? I know it's basketball season. I love sports, you guys, and I love my favorite sport is soccer. So there's soccer, and then basketball, and then football, right? So I was saying, it's like Steph Curry over and over again. In the beginning, when he started shooting, you guys, like, this stuff, like, it sucked. It was conscious incompetence. Like, he knows, yes, I could shoot, but it's not coming on. I got to work at it. It was like the beginning of his career. I got to work at it. And then you get better. You put in effort. You put in time. You study. You actually do the work. You do the homework. You do this. You do that. You're putting things into play. And it becomes like, you know what? I can actually do this, but it requires a lot of effort, right? Practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. You're actually getting this stuff inside of you. Like, you're consuming it, right? And then all of a sudden, he goes to college, and then NBA. And now everyone sees Steph now. It's like on autopilot. When he shoots, he doesn't have to look if it's going in. Like, he knows it's going to go in, right? Because it's in him now, right? Like the same thing. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time is Peyton Manning. I love his accuracy. This dude is literally like a coach, right? Like an offensive coach, playing quarterback. He could dissect the defense. He could do this. He could do that. He could do this. He can audible. He can move his wide receiver. He can make motions. He can change the play at the line. He can read what the linebackers are doing. He can see, hey, is this cover two? Is this single coverage? Or the linebackers blitzing, right? He can shift protection. He can do this. He could do that. Why? He's become unconscious competence. He can do this in his sleep. Like, he can actually read the plays. The same as like Tom Brady and all these guys. But they don't start there, right? They don't start there. They don't start at that place. They start at conscious incompetence. First and foremost, like, they gotta, or maybe even unconscious incompetence. They don't even know that. They don't even understand football. The first time seeing it, like, what is this? Why do people hitting that? Like, why are people hitting people? This is the same. My mom says this all the time, you guys. It's like, I don't get the sport. Why are people hitting people? I'm like, Mom, they're actually not like hitting people. They just can't hit people. You call it plays, offense and defense. It's like, why are they using their hand? And then why do they call it football? And they're using their hand, right? I actually taught that too, but it's actually different. So at that point, Mom is actually unconsciously incompetent about football. It's not even an area of interest, right? Compared to like a Peyton Manning, who's actually, man, can do this in his sleep and fully understand it. So it's the same thing. When we are learning any new thing, when we are learning any new skill, we all start from the bottom, but we got to stay open-minded and increase the awareness. Like, once the awareness is awake, and we actually become like, man, this actually is something, And I know I don't fully understand it or get it yet, and I'm incompetent at it now, but I'm willing to work towards it. Now, that's a growth mindset. That's someone that's open, right, to that. And then from there, you get to work your way up. You get to work your way up, and it becomes a beautiful thing. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I kind of feel like I toggle between conscious incompetence and conscious competence. I know what I'm doing, right? I'm not unconscious competent yet, whereas like I don't have to think about it. I still have to, think about it, implement these things, and I'm learning so much, and it's so fun, and just seeing everything come together. And now, like you guys, I'm launching it this week. I'm like, wow, like this is amazing, and I'm like, this is so cool. And I remember just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this is nuts. Like, who does this? And now look at where it's at. So I'm super, super fired up. I hope you guys got value out of this. So how does this apply? How would this apply to you? The same exact way. Find where you need to grow in your business, in your MLM, in your brand, in what you're doing, right? Become a seeker and an observer. Look for what other people are doing. And how can I take the best of that stuff and actually apply it to me? And I understand that, yes, in the beginning, I'm actually not going to even understand it. I might be unconsciously incompetent, and I could just get to work my way up. And this actually came, what's his name? Noel Birch, I believe, came up with this concept in 1970s, and it's huge in psychology. And kind of give yourself kind of breathing room, man. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to fail, and it's okay to fail forward. However, you don't stay at the same place. You're moving, even if it's one thing you do each day to become conscious competent, where you're working yourself to unconscious competent, where it just flows like water, right? Each and every single day, working it and working it and working it. And now you get to be like, oh man, look at what I did. And it's launching. People are excited. People was like, man, I'm ready to like send me the link. Let me sign up already. Like it's all that stuff because they're getting. So for the people that actually get to qualify and apply and join my team, they get all these resources. They actually get to get this entire funnel that I'm actually building, and they get so much more. Like just make things so much easier. The success path, like it's a thing of beauty, and everything we've put together, so they can actually start recruiting on autopilot, and they can not bother friends and family. Actually have a real business. Know exactly what to focus on at from the beginning onto where they want to be. They get the coaching, the mentoring, and all this stuff, man. And I was like, man, I wish I had this when I was starting. I would have been far out of the game. Like none of that was available, but it was so cool. Like, we go out as entrepreneurs. We problem solve. We problem solve, right? And you go out and you see what the problem is. So find what the problem is in your company, in your MLM, and it's like, okay, what are most people coming in having a problem with, and how can I solve that, right? And so like when you solve that problem, you actually give it to the new people, or even to the people that are already in. It solves their problem, and now guess what? You just created leverage. So like, oh, okay, cool. Now they're good. All right. What else can they? What do they need help with? Okay, maybe how to sell the product. Have I created a system or funnel or a way or a script or something that will make it easier for people to talk about the product and sell the product? Is there, all these things, whatever that is for you. And then you solve that problem, you give it to people, for the new guys that are coming in, or for the guys that already existing, and bang, right? And watch your team grow, watch your team build, because you just became a problem solver. You actually are a leader. You're leading yourself, and you're the true definition of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs we're problem solvers, you guys. This is exactly what we do. But anyway, hope you guys got massive value from this. I'm trying to make these just value packed, and because I know I love to ramble and even like just go on a tangent, because I get so passionate about this stuff, man. It's anyway, I will see you guys on the next episode. Apply this stuff, And we'll definitely be talking soon. To the top, you guys. Let's go.
Hey, thank you for listening today. If you found value, please subscribe and leave a review so we can reach others like us searching for a better way on how to use the internet to create leverage and truly dominate. How would you like to stop pitching and start attracting your downline on autopilot? If so, head over to timetodominatepodcast.com and grab the free training, and let's go.